Hi, this is your host with a company. We believe that learning new skills like editing should be fast, fun, and affordable. That's why all our classes are self-paced, interactive, and broken down into digestible chunks so that you can go from zero to pro in the shortest amount of time possible. You can learn at your own pace, rewind and rewatch as much as you like, and study on the go because our platform works on any device. Most importantly, you'll have fun. Our classes are created by industry pros who love teaching others the tricks of the trade. So if you're ready to take the first step towards your new career in film and video, check out our classes online. When you think of the word editor, what comes to mind? For me, it's someone with a pair of scissors for fingers making split-second decisions to keep you on the edge of your seat. That's why I was thrilled when our team asked me to teach Premiere Pro to complete beginners. I figured I knew enough to teach advanced techniques. But in the process, I realized there's actually a lot to know about just getting started. After all, Adobe Premiere Pro has thousands of controls and features. So I made this class to help you master the basics and feel confident creating your first rough cuts. In this lesson, I'm going to cover my favorite features and shortcuts so you can focus on telling your story. Let's begin with the basics. Before you can edit, you need something to edit. Files can be dropped straight onto the project panel, which lives at the bottom left of your screen. Here, everything you add to your project will appear in bins, which are simply folders. And it's good practice to sort your clips into different bins based on the shoot date, location, type, or whatever makes sense for your workflow. When you double-click a file, it will appear in the source monitor at the top left of your screen. It's basically a viewer for your clips that gives you options to mark ins and outs, set bookmarks, and more. Once you've decided which part of the clip you want to include in your edit, you can click the In and Out button or hit the I and O keys to set those markers. Then it's as easy as dragging the clip from the source monitor to the timeline, which lives at the bottom of your screen. Now that you have some clips in your timeline, let's take a look at the most important panels. To the right of your timeline is the program monitor. It displays your timeline as a preview and can also be used to focus on a specific part of your timeline or to zoom in and out. Directly above the program monitor is the playback range, which allows you to see the current frame, the duration of your clip, and whether you're playing the clip forwards, reverse, or in slow motion. At the very top of your screen, you'll find the toolbar. Here are some of my favorites. First, the play toggle. This is how you play back your edit. The playhead indicates where in the timeline you're currently looking. Then there's the loop toggle. It plays your edit over and over again from the loop out point until the loop in point. It's perfect for reviewing your work during longer sessions. Next is the toggle overlays button. It allows you to turn on and off things like your clip's names and the safe margins overlay. It's helpful for navigating your timeline. Last, there's the spacebar toggle. You can play back your edit by pressing the spacebar, but when you enable the toggle, it gives you more control over playback speed and direction. Alright, let's talk tools. They live in this panel, the Tools panel. There are two tabs, Video and Audio. Since this is an editing class, we'll focus on video. There are 7 tools in total, and I'm only going to cover the 5 that I use the most. The first is the Selection tool. Basically, it lets you select, move, rotate, and scale your clips in the timeline and program monitor. The next is the Ripple Edit tool. When you trim a clip, the Ripple Edit tool automatically closes the gap you create by moving the rest of the clips on the same track. It saves you time and energy, so it's a lifesaver when you're editing quickly. Next is the Razor tool. It lets you cut your clips anywhere you want. My favorite trick is to combine the Razor tool with the Selection tool. Select a clip and press Ctrl+K or Command+K on a Mac. You can also use the Razor tool to split a clip in the program monitor. And the fourth tool is the Pen tool. It lets you add keyframes to adjust your clip's properties, including opacity, scale, rotation, and position. And finally, there's the Type tool. It lets you add titles and text to your project. Now that you know your tools, let's put them to the test and learn a few shortcuts. The first thing I lines do is delete the existing clips on my timeline and create a new composition. I'll set my desired aspect ratio and resolution, then I'll drag in the clips I want to edit. Here's where I'd usually trim my footage and remove any unusable parts. Once I have a nice selection, I'll add an audio track to my timeline and drag in the audio file. Now I'll adjust the audio levels using the pen tool. I'll add two keyframes, one at the beginning of the audio clip to bring the sound up, and another keyframe at the end to bring it back down. And voila! We have a mix with my audio adjusted. I'll move on to the visuals. Here's where I'll add titles and transitions. I'll start by creating a new solid color layer and picking my desired color. Then I'll place it above my video track and reposition it using the selection tool. Using the type tool, I'll add some text and move it into position. I'll repeat this for each layer I need, positioning my graphic using the selection tool and adjusting the text with the type tool. And finally, it's time to transition between my layers. I'll open the window menu and select workspaces greater than editing. This ensures that the Effects Controls panel is visible. I'll open the Effect Controls panel and click the Add Effect button. From the list that appears, I'll search for Cross Dissolve and drag it onto my timeline. I'll open the Effect Controls and set my duration to 0.5 seconds and repeat the process for my second transition. At this point, I've finished my edit, but I need to export it. To do that, I'll open the File menu and select Export Media. I'll give my file a name and choose my destination folder. Lastly, under Format, I'll select QuickTime and hit Export. And that's it, I just completed my first edit. It might seem complicated, but with practice, you'll be able to tell stories through your edits in no time. I hope you enjoyed this whirlwind tour of Premiere Pro. Check out the link below to continue your learning journey with us. And remember, becoming an expert editor takes time and practice. Don't get discouraged and keep honing your craft. Thanks for watching.